Everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today is Sunday, January 12th, and we are right up against the full moon in Cancer. How is everybody doing? I thought I would do a full moon in Cancer energy check-in, and we have 3 piles to choose from. Pile number 1 is the belief pile. Pile number 2 is the cosmic flower pile. And pile number 3 is the discernment pile. Okay. And for those of you who haven't ever been to my channel before, my name is Natalie H. And I've been reading here on YouTube for the last 5 years. I have amazing playlists if you want to check them out. I'm an astrologer and a tarot reader, and you can find a link in my description box below if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, tarot reading, or a natal chart reading with me. Details for how to do so are below. And additionally, if you'd like to follow me on social media, I'm over on Blue Sky at Natalie H Astrology. So thank you so much for being here today, everybody. And you can go directly to the description box below to find the timestamp for your pile. Now, do focus on the images as well as the colors on the 3 different cards here to choose what pile is really drawing you in. Now, this full moon is in a conjunction with Mars, so it does have the ability to be drama-filled if one felt like going down that path, okay? And people can, when we have a full moon in Cancer conjunction Mars in Cancer retrograde, we can have people overreacting to threats or perceived threats around them, and sometimes we just need to calm down in order to get in the flow or stay in the flow. And this moon is also trining Neptune, so hopefully we can find that flow element and use the extra energy that Mars gives, even though it's retrograde, to help us move forward with what we're working on. Motivation has been challenging, I would definitely say so. And we're in the flux of some major energies right now, so I thought it would be a good idea to do a check-in. And I'm having my own little issues today with, like, little physical issues here and there with like allergies, even though it's the dead of winter. I don't know why I have allergies, but here we are. So let's go ahead and get into it. I kind of realized it was like the full moon in Cancer when I was aggressively trying to love on my dog and give her like 1,000 kisses, and she was like running away from me. And I thought, yeah, this is about right for the full moon in Cancer conjunction Mars in Cancer. So let's go ahead and get into it. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the belief card, and today's reading is regarding the full moon in Cancer. We're doing an energy check-in. We're going to make sure we're not overreacting to anything and that we're staying as calm as possible for optimal flow. Pile number 1, okay? Take a deep breath with me. Pile number 1, let's remember this moon is trining Neptune. So let's try to enjoy it a little bit, okay? Let's try to zone out and feel good in our bodies, okay? I know Mars is there irritating things, but we got to make every moment count, pile number 1. So let's go ahead and find out, what does Spirit want pile number 1 to know here as it relates to this full moon, okay? As it relates to this full moon in Cancer, what does Spirit want pile number 1 to know? And pile number 1, there is a big need to relax. Yeah, as soon as I said that, there's the 9 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. And maybe some of you have had a lot on your mind recently. You've been worried. I'm getting something about calculations or worrying about the numbers, or perhaps you're worried about bills, or you've been calculating the numbers on something, or perhaps you're trying to save for something or pay something down. But I am getting something about, numbers or getting something in the mail. And it's like, why me? I've got all this stuff I have to figure out, and got to take a deep breath, right? Pile number one. So let's go ahead and see. We've got the Four of Swords. Yep, we need to relax, right? We need to chill. We have the Eight of Swords. What I don't know can't hurt me, right? What you don't know can't hurt you. Sometimes ignorance is truly bliss, isn't it? And maybe some of you are like, Natalie, I don't know why I'm always the one worried about everything. For once in my life, I would like to be a lot more calm, and I don't need to know everything that's going on. I don't need to know I'd rather just be left alone. And truly, pile number one, you may really feel like ignorance is bliss right now. Okay, we have the Five of Swords. Yeah, I mean, definitely, don't come to my door with some bullshit, I feel like is what you're saying, pile number one, okay? Leave me out of it is what I feel. If there's drama going on at work, with your family, friends, etc., you're like, leave me out of it. I do not want anything right now that's going to upset me. And I'm getting something about like TV shows or news stories or things that you watch or that you could see that might be very upsetting, that kind of have you up at night or thinking heavily about something. And I feel like you guys are just like, I don't want to know anymore. I just heard that song, I Don't Want to Know. If you're playing me, keep it on the low. Because my heart can't take it. Like, I don't want to know if you're playing me, keep it on the low. Please, if you're playing me, please don't let it show, because my heart can't take it anymore. Okay. Anyway, that's a song, and from back in the day, and maybe you guys are like, yeah, I don't really don't tell me your deepest, darkest secret and then expect me to sit with it and not worry about it. Like, I am gonna worry. So just don't tell me. Don't tell me shit is what I feel like you guys are kind of at right now, pile number one, all right? We have Uranus and change. It's interesting because this full moon is in a sextile to Uranus, okay? And the thing about whatever situation you're finding yourself in, pile number one, is that things do change quickly. So don't pick a side right now. If there is something, if friends are fighting, if family's fighting, if people are getting short and nasty with you, don't take it as a sign that the winds are changing and that this is how it's going to be, okay? Because I feel like there could be some really tense moments or some really moments where somebody flips on you, pile number one, where things seem calm and normal and then the person kind of flips on you and it really puts you in your head. Look at all the swords cards here, okay? It kind of puts you in your head. And here's the thing is that if something like that pops up, don't let it bother you too much, or don't lose too much sleep over it, okay, pile number one, because things are going to be changing suddenly and something pops out of nowhere that worries you or upsets you, but spirits sleep it off and don't let it destroy your peace and calm, or don't let it destroy your mindset. Yeah, we have tension here. We have the square in astrology, which does represent tension, okay? And the quincunx, which is an aspect where people are not seeing eye to eye on something, okay? And yeah, definitely some tension around a change that is happening. And it's like, oh, I don't even want to hear about it. Keep me out of it. The tension of change. We have shame and guilt. Feel them without judgment. Mistakes do not define your worth. Okay. And it's like, oh, I should have helped, or oh, I should have done something, or oh, I should have said something. I didn't really know at the time what I should do, and I just chose to ignore something, and now I feel bad about it. Okay, pile number one, take it easy, okay, my loves? Yeah, we have unsocial. You need to get out and mingle with new people so you can meet someone, okay? And maybe the thing is you're not really feeling that social right now, okay? You could be going through a lot of changes in your life. You need rest. You need a break, I feel like. And so anyway, pile number one, let's go ahead. And we've got untrustworthy. We need to recognize that not everyone can be trusted. However, the confidence we place in our own judgment is the deepest level of trust that we can experience. Wow, that is really deep. And maybe you don't feel like being too social right now because you feel guilty about something and you're like, oh, I should have, that person was upset and I could tell they were upset and they needed someone to talk to, but I just was too tired. I couldn't really do it in the moment. Okay. And some of you could be figuring out that there's a relationship between you and another person that is changing right now, and there's tension in that relationship, and you're not sure if you can really trust that person. Okay. And it's like, I feel bad because I'm not really talking to people, or I've withdrawn and I'm not really chatting with people as much anymore, but I truly don't want to be involved. I feel like there's something you're not really wanting to know what's going on with or wanting to be involved with, pile number one, okay? And we have the owl. Yeah, well, the owl is very intelligent and has the ability to know when something is about to go south, okay? And the owl knows also, owls are known for being up at night. Anyway, pile number one can. So one thing I want you guys, and I'm sorry for the noise in the background, pile number one, if you can hear some talking in the background. I was about ready to stop the reading and say, something. But anyway, pile number one, and those are some of the things that can bother us during these times. I think people are very irritable. And if there are noises, like loud noises, that are keeping you up at night, or that are stopping you from getting a good night's sleep, and because of that, you're really crabby and you're really tired, okay, because you have been up late at night thinking about something or worry about something, and then during the day you're not very social and you feel bad because you weren't being very nice or friendly, okay? I feel like you're acting that way because A, there's someone that isn't very trustworthy around you, and also B, your vibe towards someone has changed, and your vibe towards a situation has changed, probably because you are tired and irritable. Okay, pile number one, and that's okay. That's okay if you're feeling tired and irritable. We have Jupiter and Hesed here. Okay, Hesed, the Sephiroth of on the Tree of Life, called Hesed, which has to do with Jupiter and wisdom, okay, and expansive wisdom, okay? So that's good, Jupiter coming through. And I feel like you guys really learning your lesson about something, pile number one. And I do feel like with this Four of Swords that you do need a change in your environment. You do need peace and quiet, and you do need, I do feel like you're really looking closely at something, at a certain person in your life, and you're wondering if they're trustworthy. You're wondering if they've been lying to you. You're wondering if they're, you know, purposely leaving things out to trick you, this type of thing. You're irritable towards somebody. Somebody has been irritable towards you. Okay. This is like when we look at someone and our eyes are kind of narrowing and we're like, you know, I like you and I care about you and I want the best for you, but I don't know. I'm not connecting with you right now. I kind of feel there's something going on with that, pile number one, okay? We have book and knowledge, okay, which has to do with learning. And also I feel like sometimes when we're feeling like really unsocial and we don't want to talk to somebody, we can read a book or watch a show or kind of like ignore a person, okay? And maybe sometimes you guys just want to be kind of, you can feel the tension, you can feel that there's a change in the air. And, you know, when I think of an owl, I think of like a bookworm or somebody who's really smart. Okay, I do feel like your knowledge is expanding, which is a wonderful thing. Jupiter's in Gemini right now, and it's a great time to learn or to read or to study. And perhaps you guys feel shame or guilt or feel bad because you know, you would rather stay home and read your book rather than be social or talk to people, okay? And you know, perhaps a lot of people that you talk to are superficial, or it's like, yeah, I know I agreed to go to this thing. I know I should have gone. I didn't feel like going. I wasn't sure what the other person thought about me, so I just didn't say anything and just kind of buried myself in my book. For some of you, it could be burying yourself in your book. Gaming, for those of you that are into gaming, TV shows, like basically I feel bad because I didn't talk to that person, but I really wasn't in the mood. I was really tired and I really wanted to stay focused on what I was doing, or I really wanted to take a break from that situation, is what I feel, pile number one. We have Peacock Spirit, let it shine. Okay. Now this peacock looks a little bit irritated. I kind of feel like you guys don't want a lot of attention on you right now. Okay, you're going through a major change in your life. There's a lot of tension around. You're wondering if there's certain people in your life you can trust or not. You're not feeling terribly social. You are learning a lot, and your study is going to be going well, or is going really well. And your knowledge is really shining. Okay, but I also feel, pile number one, that you're quite tired and you do need a break from a particular social situation. And I feel like you guys are kind of going, I wish that these people didn't see me, or I wish I wasn't shining in this situation because I really don't want anyone to talk to me. Is kind of what I'm feeling. Are you a grumpy owl, pile number one? Are you a grumpy owl? Would you rather be on your own? And perhaps some of you have a fear because there was somebody that backstabbed you and without your knowledge and was doing a bunch of stuff behind your back, and all of a sudden you could tell the energy had shifted and changed. And yeah, and I do feel like there is tension in social situations because people don't want to do things the same way that they've been doing them before. And so they'd rather just kind of be doing things on their own, okay? And Spirit is telling you to let it shine, let your knowledge shine. If you feel bad because, you know, you're learning something faster than other people or you're smarter than other people, pile number one, Spirit is like, let your knowledge shine, okay? And maybe some of you just haven't been that social because you don't want to be around people where you're constantly having to explain stuff all the time, pile number one. Okay, I get it, but I also think you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom and deeper truths to share with people. Not everybody is trustworthy. Not everybody deserves to hear that information from you, pile number one, but the energy is definitely there. We have the Ankh, purpose of life. You have so much to live for, okay? And, you know, this is truly where I feel like this full moon is a turning point for you guys, where some of you are changing and you do need a break from things. There are people, there are patterns that you need a break from. Okay, I feel like some of you can be very skeptical when people come into your life or try to be your friend. And maybe there's been times that instead of going to the function, you stayed home because you just wanted to be a bookworm and stay at home and read, or something like that. But I feel like you guys, like, there's an energy of growth in your life, but you're also very skeptical at this point of other people. And maybe it has hurt your social life a little bit, and you know that something needs to change there, but you're still working through that tension. Okay, pile number one. And that's okay. That's fine. We don't have to get it done today, all right? And we definitely don't want to force ourselves to do something that we're not ready to do, that's going to mentally, like, really cause a lot of mental disturbances. You know, we definitely don't want to do that. So if you need to stay home and rest for a while and lose yourself in your favorite book or your favorite movie, and you just need people to kind of leave you alone for a while, I totally get it, pile number one. Take the time that you need. And when you're ready, I know you will reemerge. So pile number one, that is the full moon energy that I am getting for you, my loves. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Do let me know how you felt about it. How is this full moon going for you? Do you feel like there are a lot of changes and there's tension around that, pile number one? Let me know in the comments below. Let's move on to pile number two. Pile number two, welcome to your reading. You chose the Cosmic Flower. And today's reading is a full moon in Cancer energy check-in to see how we're feeling and how we're doing on this full moon in Cancer. Okay, pile number two. This full moon is with Mars. There can definitely be a tendency towards overreaction. It can be hard to stay calm and be in the flow and stay in the flow, okay? But we are going to try to do just that. For pile number two, let's look at an energy check-in. What does pile number two need to know for this full moon in Cancer? Okay, felt like a frog just like jumped out at me. Okay, maybe some of you like frogs or you're afraid of frogs, but just felt like a frog just kind of like bounced up at me, pile number two. We've got the Messenger of Wands, which is the Page of Wands in the tarot, okay? And we have here Death. Ooh, I like that. That's a very snakes crawling out of the eye sockets. It's a very artistic death card. Very cool. We have Temperance. Ooh, I like that Temperance card too. This is a new deck that I just got. It's very cool images. And we have the Hermit. Wow, that is 3 major arcana cards there, okay? And there is deep change that is happening on a magnetic, spiritual level. I feel pile number 2. I wanted to say it's like molten or molting. The molting process is kind of what's going on for you. There is a concern, I feel like, with, you know, health and your routines and, you know, and maybe sometimes it's feeling like, okay, am I just like avoiding, am I telling myself this is going to be okay and things are going to change? Am I avoiding the big shift that's trying to come into my life? Okay. Am I avoiding it? Am I not, you know, am I taking little baby steps when I should be taking a big leap here? Okay. Am I just putting up with the day to day when I know on a fundamental basis that things really, really do need to change on a much deeper level? Okay. But I think there's been confusion about which direction to go with things. I feel like pile number 2. So we're going to get some more. We have the first house and arrival. Well, because I was talking about health and wellness, perhaps health, wellness, fitness. Perhaps some of you have been working and trying to do stuff every day to take care of yourself, but you feel like there's like a much deeper transformation that needs to happen, or perhaps detox, okay? When we see death and the hermit come up, it could be that we're really needing to do a deep detox as well. We have Leo energy and shine, okay? Leo energy showing up in your reading. I mean, I feel like the attention could easily be on you, pile number 2, where you are, and it does matter, right? It matters how you feel about yourself, how you look, your confidence. All of that is part of how you show up in the most powerful way possible, okay? And maybe some of you have been wanting to work on your self-confidence this year and how you show up in situations. Let's see what else we have. We have divine juggling, master different aspects of yourself, both light and dark. Okay. And, you know, with temperance turned towards death, like she's turned towards the darker aspect right now. Okay. And the part of ourselves that can be kind of a troublemaker, the part of ourselves that can be very sexy, the part of ourselves that can be very wild and free, the part of ourselves that doesn't do things half-assed, the part of ourselves that goes for the biggest change instead of just small little incremental changes, okay? And, you know, dealing with our tendency to go overboard or obsess about things or push things to their limit, okay? And this aspect of needing to master different things about who we are. We have fear and loneliness, okay? You stay in bad relationships because you are lonely. Be okay with being with yourself. Oh boy. Okay. And maybe some of you are actually needing to end a relationship or end an obsession that you've had. Okay. But there's a fear that if you end it or let go of it, you won't ever like someone that way again, or you won't ever feel as strongly as you did about that person ever again. Okay. And I feel like maybe for those of you that do have partners, you could really be feeling disconnected from a partner right now and feeling like you want to end it, or some of you could be going out with people, but you feel very alone and you don't feel like you're really connecting, or you feel like if you did go out and try to meet people, you would just be like, I don't know, like just not connecting. So that is there. We have anguish, okay? Simply knowing there is an end to this feeling of sorrow is the very beginning of your healing process. We have the first house in Leo here, so some of you may be changing your hair, getting a fierce new haircut, changing the way you look, something that really does improve your confidence, okay? And I feel like you guys are like, you know, Natalie, I've always wanted to be that person that isn't afraid to go up and talk to anybody about anything. I want to be much more outgoing and much more extroverted, but I feel like sometimes it's really hard for me to connect with other people because I get lost in my own thoughts, or I'm still holding on to things from the past, or I have incredibly high standards and I'm very picky and I only like certain specific traits in people, and therefore I don't really connect with people, or it's very hard for me to come out of my cave or come out of my shell and really connect with people. And so I end up kind of like in both worlds, trying to juggle the dark and the light within me, okay? And I do feel like there is an emergence happening for you. And I do feel like you are going to be more social, you are going to be more shining, you are going to feel more confident, you are going to be more open and outgoing with people and attracting people with like your magnetic energy, okay, or your charisma. Leo is really our charisma and our ability to be able to draw people to us through our charisma, okay? And sometimes it just feels like we're not really connecting in that way at all. And it can also be because we're not really connecting with ourselves. And so we're not able to really tap into that charisma. We have Mystic Swamp. Oh, that's interesting. Deep, dark waters. Deep, dark waters are your reflection. You can't see. You won't find yourself if you don't go deep, okay? In the deep, dark waters is your reflection. You cannot see. You won't find yourself if you don't go deep. Death card. Yeah. If you're afraid to go into like a cave of self-discovery, or you're afraid. I mean, I think a lot of times in psychotherapy or in meditations, they start with that cave metaphor. You're on the outside of a cave and there's an invitation to go into the cave, and then you go a level deep and then a level deeper and deeper, and there's that kind of invitation to go to those undiscovered parts of self, right? Which we could be avoiding doing, okay? Or we could be doing it a little bit, like going deep, but then pulling back. Going deep, but then pulling back, okay? And yeah, so there is something here about working with shadow, going deep, and it's saying you won't find yourself if you don't go deep. And it's the thing is, pile number 2, it's real hard to connect with other people on a deeper level too, which can lead to fear or fear of being lonely because we're not connecting. And maybe you feel like, hey, I just need to be more interesting as a person, I guess. Or I just need to be more dramatic. Or I just need to be more charismatic. Okay. And I feel you are a really deep person. Okay. And I feel that you are like extremely, there may be a part of you that's very shy though, with the hermit energy showing up here. Okay, there might be a part of you that's more reserved or shy or quiet, but when you peel back all those layers, you are a very deep person. But it is hard to connect with people sometimes. Okay, and I do feel with this full moon in Cancer, you're starting to realize the different parts of yourself, both the light and the dark. And because of that, you are going to be experiencing more inner harmony, which is going to naturally pull people in. We have Libra energy showing up here. So we have Leo and Libra. Okay, for whatever reason, Leo and Libra has been coming up a lot lately in my readings. Which talks a lot about, freedom and independence and individuality and standing out versus, sacrificing of a person's needs for a partnership. Okay, and some of the sacrifices that we do make in relationships, and how after a while we can kind of lose ourselves in relationships and become like a more watered down version of ourselves. Which means like when people are with someone else, they can still feel very alone. Okay, so we've got that going on. And maybe some of you haven't been exactly too sure of what you want in a relationship anymore. It's like, I don't really know. I used to really care what other people thought of me, and I used to try to get the attention of someone all the time, and I used to really care what this person thought of me, and I really wanted to be with them so bad, and all I wanted was their attention and their validation and for them to notice me. And now I don't really care. But part of that not caring aspect of it, pile number 2, may be what scares you a little bit. Okay, it may be what scares you a little bit. We have Bat and Journey. Yeah, you've definitely been on quite the journey of change and transformation in your life. Okay, and it's not easy, and maybe sometimes you have felt alone and that you were searching for this very elusive thing, but all the while it was kind of within you. Now, pile number 2, this is a very deep reading. And what I haven't really addressed is this Page of Wands right here. And I do feel like there was an ending between you and another person here. And I feel like you have gone back and forth with yourself about your feelings regarding this ending, okay? But I feel like you've also said to yourself, I'm not going to change who I am just to make you happy, okay? And this person is like, well, I didn't want you to change who you were anyway. And you're like, well, that's weird, because you always made me feel like there was something wrong with me, or that I was doing something wrong. And I feel like it just, I feel like you and this person did quit talking to each other. There was a very deep ending here that really shaked things up for you. But I also feel like you're like, yeah, Natalie, there's a toxic side of me that has wondered about this person or has wanted to go back to it. But I know there is this toxic energy between me and this person, and it's better for me just to kind of go and to leave. Okay. So, but I do feel at times you've considered you know, divine juggling, like you've considered if it would really be like that bad if you went back to this person. But yeah, I feel like it is over. Pile number 2 with you and this Page of Wands over here. And yeah, and this Page of Wands could have been a Leo or had Leo in their chart, or fire sign energy in their chart as well. And anyway, pile number 2. And maybe sometimes you wonder if the journey between you and this person is over or not. I feel it is, pile number 2. And also with this anguish card here, I feel this situation has brought a feeling of sorrow and anguish into your life. And, you know, simply knowing that there's an end to this feeling of sorrow is the very beginning of your healing process. It's the very beginning of, you know, crawling out of that mystic swamp. Okay. And we have here, the thing is this person could have been very opinionated about the way you are, or wanting you to change in some way, pile number 2, that you weren't comfortable with. Okay, and for some of you, this may have been way in your past, and you've just realized how much you've grown since then. And you're realizing you're much more confident, you're much more balanced when it comes to relationships. You've been spending time working on yourself. You're no longer afraid of being alone, okay? You know, we have the mouse spirit here showing up saying tend to the small things. And that's kind of what I was feeling when I first saw your reading here. Especially with this Hermit card showing up, is needing to take care, like whether that's making doctor appointments, making appointments to see your hairdresser, you know, paying bills, whether that is, let me see what else is kind of coming to me, pile number 2, but it's all those like little things that we have to do that makes our lives run smoothly. And sometimes we need to keep ourselves busy so that we don't drift back and start thinking about things that aren't good for us to be thinking about, okay? But with this full moon in Cancer, there is a need to tend to the small things, okay? And perhaps for you, this full moon is in your 6th house. That would make you an Aquarius rising, okay? With Leo ruling your 7th house of relationships. And maybe there is a need to tend to the small things, or look at the way that certain people in your life made you feel very small at times, okay? And realize how far you've come in that energy, that, and maybe some of you did take care of the little things for another person, or you used to do a lot of little things for this particular person in your life, and you feel like they never really appreciated it. Like you would do little things to show that you would care. You would do little things to, little thoughtful things to show that you were paying attention to this person and that you cared about them. And you, with this Libra energy, you just wanted it to be equal. You just wanted them to pay attention to you and see you and do little nice things for you too. But perhaps that energy was never really returned in that way, pile number 2, okay? And that could have left you feeling a lot of anguish or a lot of loneliness, or very disconnected from this person. And I feel like you've been on such a journey of self-growth since then that you've really changed a lot. Yeah, we have Scorpio energy coming up in the reading, okay? So we have Leo, Libra, and Scorpio here in the reading. Now, I also feel this is you guys have actually a dark side to you. You are very humble and you are very detailed. Perhaps some of you are very good at your job, or you're very intense about your work. Or when it comes to the work that you do in the world, you can be very intense, not giving up, very hardcore about what you're working on and what you're doing, okay? And that's really cool, but maybe a lot of people don't always know how you're feeling, or you keep how you're feeling to yourself a lot. Or what's interesting is that you do try to take care of the details. You do try to, and when it comes to, for those of you that are working full time or you identify with your work a lot, I feel like you are quite intimidating with what you do. And there's not a lot that doesn't get past you, pile number 2, okay? You can be very intimidating and in like a work or knowledge perspective, because there's a lot of things that you know that other people don't know. And there's a lot of, I see a person who's not afraid to basically speak their truth or speak their mind, and somebody who really knows their shit. Okay, pile number 2. And maybe that is like part of your dark side. It's like, yeah, I do have this dark side that can be very mysterious, fierce, and intimidating. And I guess I never really thought about it that much. I guess I never really realized it about myself that much. But maybe even at work, you can be very fierce or intimidating or very short with people sometimes. And maybe even certain people have been afraid to like talk to you or bring things up to you because you have that side to you, okay? But I feel like, getting to know the part of you that is more mysterious and fierce and intimidating is important, right? Because with Libra energy, we can be kind of getting lost in the superficial charm or the social niceties of things, or we can really be focused on being very agreeable in situations and being as helpful as possible and as agreeable as possible. But I do feel like there is a very fierce side to you that can get angry at times, okay, when people are not appreciating what you're doing. And when it comes to what you know or what you work on, you can be very fierce and intimidating. And admitting that to yourself or understanding that about yourself and like appreciating that side of yourself that is a survivor, that is fierce, that is intimidating, that's proud of who you are and what you do, that knows your shit, that's confident in who you are and what you know. Like, that is a very important part of you, and it helps balance out the other side of your personality, which is more I don't want to use the word benign, but maybe that is more like chill, or is more humble, or is quieter. Like, that you do have this very fierce side to you too, that at times may even make people a little bit intimidated or scared. It's not a bad thing, pile number 2. It really isn't. And I think what this full moon is doing is asking you to integrate all that that is. Okay, pile number 2. So that is what I am getting for you, my loves. I hope that that reading resonated for you, and I wish you the very best. Let me know if you know what situation I was talking about or how that relates to you personally. Thank you so much, pile number 2, and take care. Let's move on to pile number 3. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose Discernment, and today's reading is a full moon and Cancer energy check-in, and we are going to see how this full moon in Cancer is affecting you. and what Spirit would like to talk to you about, okay? This full moon is in a conjunction with Mars, and people may be feeling extra sensitive or testy or irritable, and they may be overreacting at things. So it's very important to stay calm and stay in the flow and not let those blips or bumps in the road knock us off our course, okay? And let's go ahead for my pile number 3s. I'm using the Light Seers deck here for you, pile number 3. Let's see what is up for this. Okay, we want this one. Let us see what is up for this full moon in Cancer for pile number 3. What is up here? Ace of Cups. Ooh, romantical, pile number 3. I like it. Open heart, open energy, open sesame, pile number 3. We have the Hanged Man. Ooh, flexible. I like it. We have the Ace of Pentacles, open to the new coming your way, touching the void and not, shrinking back from it, but diving deeper into it. We have the Four of Cups. Okay, deep change takes time, and the seeds that we plant are definitely going to take root during this full moon, pile number 3, but there could also be like a boredom or a feeling of things taking too long, okay? Or I don't know what to do next. I did all these things and I got my hands dirty and I did the work and I was flexible and I am ready to start this new journey in my life, and I feel like I'm still feeling through it to see what it is, and I'm kind of bored or kind of over it when it comes to what is right now, okay? And this can be where we're getting a little itchy, anxious, or nervous about the pace and how things are unfolding, because things do take their sweet time to manifest sometimes, and sometimes the seeds that we're planting are very, very deep. And in the meantime, we feel like, oh, this is just taking a really long time, right? I'm trying to get to this place in my life, but it's just taking a while, okay? So let's see what we've got here. It's like I want progress and I'm patient and I believe in the power of manifestation and I believed in being a patient person, but I'm also, I'm also getting like a little bored of waiting for the right time, okay? It seems like there's never a perfect time for anything. And if we wait too long, sometimes we do miss that window, okay? We have Venus here and we have Neptune. Wow. And the Hangman is associated with Neptune in the tarot anyway. And this full moon is actually in a trine with Neptune, okay? And yeah, so pile number 3. This is about being patient and going with the flow and being flexible and waiting for the right time to do something, okay? But because this full moon is with Mars, we can get kind of tired of waiting. And some of you here may be waiting for someone to reach out to you, or a lover to call, or, with Venus showing up here, it can be like, yeah, I really do like this person, or yeah, there's a vibe or an energy, or yeah, or just a feeling of, hey, I've been waiting for a while for something to manifest when it comes to love or when it comes to this person. And I'm tired of waiting. I've been really patient. Why won't this person just call me back already? Why won't they just text me back already? Why haven't I heard from them yet? Okay. Because it feels like there is a really cool deep beginning that feels very natural, but it's also like, where is it? Why isn't, why haven't all my dreams come true yet when it comes to love and opening up my heart? Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have authentic self. Be yourself. Everyone is already taken. Uniqueness and individuality. Okay. We have not my type. Be open to different types of people because you may be surprised who you find. Interesting. Pile number 3. Are you looking for like your dream type with Venus and Neptune? Do you have Venus, Neptune in your astrology chart? Do you have a heavy Neptune in your own chart? Okay. Is there a certain type that you tend to be attracted to or that you're comfortable around? There's so many different types of people in the world, right? And, somebody being their authentic self who's not afraid to be their authentic self and express their individuality and their uniqueness can be a very attractive quality in someone. Okay. You guys are funny, pile number 3. I feel like there's an energy of like you like someone or someone likes you, but you're questioning if they're your type or they're questioning if you're their type. There's some of that going on, and there is a need with the Hangman to like be flexible and be open with the Ace of Pentacles, like be open to a new beginning and be flexible. But maybe you're also kind of bored with your love life, or you're kind of disconnected in a way because you're like, yeah, but I don't know if they're really my type, Natalie. So let's see, because I feel you guys are waiting for that deep kind of like sweep you off your feet, insane, spiritual, connected, it was meant to be, stars in my eyes, Romeo and Juliet, Venus, Neptune type of love can be where we put someone on a pedestal but then they kind of like disappoint us. That kind of stuff can go on with Venus, Neptune for sure. Or we have like a vision of what we're looking for or like what our type is, but then we meet someone and they like us, but we don't know if they're really our type. So some of you could be going back and forth on this energy of like fantasizing about someone or thinking about someone, but then also wondering, are they really my type? I don't really know. What is my type these days? I feel like your type has shifted recently, pile number 3. So it's like, okay, this is like a new paradigm. I do like this person, but in the past, this really wouldn't be somebody who's my type. Okay. So we have deception, which can definitely come through with Neptune, but sometimes we deceive ourselves, right? It's not that another person is even deceiving us. We can be telling ourselves and lying to ourselves and telling ourselves that, that we like this person or we're into this thing, but we're really not. Pile number 3, that energy of self-deception. And that's why we have discernment here too coming through. I feel like that's why you guys picked that as well. Deception can have long-term effects on a person's soul. However, we need to be more careful about those we place our trust in. Not everyone deserves this respect. Okay, and this can be where people look really good or they look like they're the perfect person for our life, but they're actually like major cheaters, or they're actually pretending to be someone they're not. And if they really acted like their true self, they wouldn't even be our type. So pile number 3, some of this energy, even if you're not dating anyone right now or have anybody, you could be thinking about these issues right now, or you could be contemplating these issues and saying, gosh, what about that time I tried to convince myself I was attracted to this person and I knew deep within my soul I wasn't, and I wasn't being authentic and they really weren't my type? Or what about that time that I tried to convince myself that this cheater, asshole, loser was my type and my dream person and my forever person? But really, if I would have known their authentic self, I would have realized this person's, not this savior, mystical figure that I thought that they were, right? Because Neptune can put blinders on where we are like all we see is the good side of something, or all we see is the potential of something. But deep within ourselves, we know, hey, maybe I'm lying to myself. Maybe this isn't everything that I think it is, right? So Neptune brings confusion because it's like, well, I think I know what my feelings are, but I'm not too sure, but I don't know. So it can be that type of thing. We have Raven, knowledge, death, and energies, right? And this can be the energy that somebody brings, like either we feel really drawn to someone's energy or not. And I feel like you guys are very sensitive. Some of you in this pile could be artists. You could be, experience a lot of shifting realities when it comes to your relationships and how you feel about people, not just with romantic relationships, but also maybe with friendships. It's like, well, there feels like there's some good material here, and that, once I just look at this situation in a different way, it actually could be a good thing. But that can be, again, where we're tricking ourselves into trying to make ourselves like someone that we don't actually connect with, okay? We could also just tell ourselves, I'm only going for this type of person and everyone else can go to hell. Well, that's not good either. So, we've got that going on. We have crown chakra here. Okay, so this full moon is a very spiritual time for you, pile number 3, and it is a time to connect to higher divine energies and really channel in like these emotions that you're feeling and these impulses that you're feeling and these energies that you're getting from a particular situation. I feel like you guys can feel it when someone's attracted to you, or somebody is trying to impress you, or somebody likes you or wants you. You're very intuitive, pile number 3, and I feel like you can feel that energy really quickly coming through. Okay, but maybe you do need to spend some time in meditation about it and think, okay, what is my type? Am I being too, my like trying to convince myself that I like someone when I don't? Am I erring towards that? Or am I erring towards everyone has to fit in this particular box, or they're not my type and I wouldn't even consider them? Okay, so those are some things that I'm just looking for, this dream person that I can put on a pedestal. And if it's not that, then it bores me, right? So thinking about where you are on that spectrum, pile number 3, and, let me know in the comments below, where are you in that spectrum and how does that relate to you when it comes to your social relationships or your love life, or forming a deep connection with a soulmate? Because with Venus Neptune, we are definitely looking for a soulmate, and we're looking for those energies to really match up and to feel like we got a message from our guides, or we got a message from higher realms letting us know that this person is my soulmate, or this person is meant to be in my life, okay? And this could be kind of like the soulmate twin flame kind of pile, which normally I don't talk a lot about twin flames on my channel, pile number 3. I don't know if you believe in all of that or not, but there is a need to connect to higher source energy and tap into the truth about what this is. We have rat and persist, okay? someone who continues to go after another person or continues to persist in a situation, okay, but they're not your type. I mean, is a rat, like, this could be somebody who looks really good on the outside, really strong arms, very fit, very handsome, looks good on the outside, but on the inside is a rat, is a piece of crap, or is not like a good person. Like on the outside, they look like they're your dream man or your dream woman, but on the inside, they have a lot of spiritual growth to do. Okay. And this can be, again, where we're lying to ourselves and telling ourselves that this person is spiritually mature, but we know that they're not. Okay. So pile number 3, these are all things that could be going on. We have grasshopper here. Take a leap of faith. Okay. And again, this is coming out under the not my type. Hey, you're not normally the person that I usually go for. You're not usually the person that I would normally connect with. You're not the type of person that I would normally connect with. But I love the fact that you are your authentic self and you're not hiding who you are and you're not hiding parts of your life and who you are to me. And I like that, and that is attractive to me. So therefore, I am going to take a leap of faith. Okay. And yeah, so there's a difference, right, between persisting with someone who looks good on the outside and checks all the boxes and is like, you know, McDreamy or whatever, but on the inside is a piece of crap, versus somebody who at the first time you meet them may not exactly be 100% your type, but as you get to know them and as you see more of who they are and peel back more of the layers, you're like, wow, you actually are my type and you actually are connecting with me. Okay. And some people here may be dating people, because I'm seeing people of different races, different genders. This could be people connecting, like, you know, I've never dated someone from that part of the world before, or, you know, I am this color of skin, but I've never dated any, you know, just dating people that are, maybe you would have never thought to date before, but you meet somebody and you're like really intrigued and you're like, maybe this would be my type. Okay. And this is saying to be open to different types of people, because you may be surprised who you find. Okay. And there could be somebody who you overlooked, pile number 3, that likes you, and they're afraid you're not their type, or that you wouldn't like them and they wouldn't be your type. But at the same time, they're like, fuck it, I'm going to go for it because I'm into pile number 3. Okay. I could see pile number 3 becoming a part of my life on a much grander level. Okay. And yeah, so we just want to make sure we're not trying to turn a rat into somebody who is a rat and would never have any integrity or morals or be a good person, someone who just looks good on the outside but on the inside is a piece of crap, right? And I feel like you guys have grown beyond this spiritually, because I mean, we evolve over time, right? I think when we're younger, like there's many people when they were younger that had pictures of Justin Bieber up on their wall and they're like, this is who I love, this is my man, or this is who I think is so hot and so cute. And you kind of project all these fantasies onto a particular person. But, you know, once you really start to grow spiritually, or once you start to kind of age out of that phase of kind of getting crazy crushes on people and making up this whole fantasy life around them, you kind of start to realize, you know, that type of thinking is actually kind of boring. And I'd much rather be around somebody who is flexible, who's down to earth, somebody who I can really grow with, spiritually and somebody who is being their true authentic self with me, and I don't have to like project a fantasy onto them. Okay, and we have guarded here. Okay, and this can be where our walls are up and boundaries and limits are up. Now, what does Neptune do? Neptune takes down our boundaries and dissolves our boundaries. So this is kind of where I feel like you meet someone and you really like them because they are being their authentic self, and it does make you attracted to them. And this person has a way of disarming you and bringing down your boundaries, okay? But I think it's also hard, pile number 3, in a way, because of experiences and because of, we have the Raven here with knowledge, death, and energies, because you have experienced like the ending of relationships and the deception and being around people who promise they're going to change but just continuing to do the same rat behavior over and over and over again. I feel like you guys are wary, pile number 3. You are wary towards like a person or certain types of people. You may have kind of a wary energy towards them because what you've done in the past, but I also feel like you've been doing a lot of spiritual work on yourself. So keeping that guard up is also perhaps feeling kind of stifled and kind of not creative, which when we have like a bunch of walls up or we have our boundaries up all the time, it can feel, after a while, it can feel not only isolating, but it also can be kind of boring. And I feel like you guys are highly creative individuals. So having your guard up all the time is gonna feel like life is boring or lackluster. It's just you don't want to get hurt again. You're sensitive. And you're sensitive, I feel like, to any signs that someone is a liar or is deceiving you or is being deceptive towards you. And some of you may regularly touch base with your guides or the spiritual energies to see, is this person telling me the truth? Are they actually being forthright, or are they a liar? Like really connecting through your crown chakra to really understand those energies, okay? But I feel like, it's okay to be a little bit guarded and to at first, and to not want somebody projecting all their fantasies on you, or you not wanting to project all your fantasies on them. But I also feel like maybe there's not much else going on right now, so it's like, what the heck, I'll give it a chance, okay? And for those of you who aren't dating anyone right now, and you're like, you know what, I'm not actually dating anyone right now, and I don't really care, Natalie, and actually I'm bored with the people out there, and maybe once in a while I think about taking a leap of faith, but honestly I'm pretty guarded and I don't really want to. That's okay, pile number 3. What you are doing, I feel like, is, meditating on these energies and thinking about what they mean for you going forward, or just how they are settling within your being, and how your being is, how the most sensitive part of you is reacting to this, and how you want to move going forward, okay? And maybe that includes, really seeing people for who they are authentically, and using your discernment and having your guard up against deception. And pile number 3, I totally support you in doing that. And for those of you that are dating or wanting to get to know someone new, and you're like, well, I don't know if they're my type and I don't want to be lied to again. Sometimes we just have to take the leap of faith to see what is truly going on. Sometimes we can give someone who isn't our type a chance, and they still fuck around anyway. And that's like the worst situation, right? But we do learn a lot, okay? We do become a lot more wiser and connected towards those places within ourselves that have become vulnerable to being in that position and healing that part of ourself that was once very vulnerable. So pile number 3, that is what I am getting for you, my loves. I hope that reading resonated for you, and I wish you the very best. Take care.